Kung huhulihin nyo ng pulis, ipokrito ang pulis. Then the PNP is an agency of hypocrisy. Kung hindi niya yun huhulihin, then we must now amend our norms here in the country. Gawin na nating legal ang illegal na droga. So, it's my second night going live, no? I think I've rarely set my broadcast on 2 consecutive nights. And, I saw a video last night about our DILG secretary talking about, I think it was Karen Davila who interviewed him, and she asked him about the protocols that were followed or that were executed during the time of the detainment. You can call it detainment, I guess. Kasi hindi naman siya matawag na you can actually say it's an arrest to the former president 2 nights ago. And if the guidelines that were provided according to the set forth articles on what should be followed when taking into custody a suspect in the ICC. So, yeah. So, yun nga yun. Parang tinanong siya if those procedures that were executed were actually lawful. Or, we may say na not necessarily lawful in the sense that we don't really have the immediate obligation to follow or not follow the procedures that were presented by the ICC, in the sense that pwede naman natin hindi talaga siya sundin, hindi natin ipadala yung binigyan ng warrant of arrest ng ICC. So, ang tanong kasi doon is, tama ba yung procedures na sinunod or in-execute ng PNP, especially on the part of the article wherein it was mentioned that the one that should be arrested based on the warrant of arrest by the ICC must be presented to the local court to where the state the suspect is situated in. So, yun yung tanong doon eh. Kung tama ba na hindi nila ginawa yun sa case ng former president. So, yun yung parang question ni Karen Davila, if I am not mistaken, sa secretary ng DILG. And then, ang sagot niya, hindi niya sinagot. Yun yung medyo nakakatawa. So, hindi niya sinagot. In fact, his response was, he is not a lawyer, and therefore, he could not comment if it was basically lawful or not. But more so, his concern is, what about the 30,000 extrajudicial killings? Was there due process for those victims of extrajudicial killings? Paano naman sila? Parang sinabi na rin niya na 'Di ba? Na parang hindi sinabi na rin niya na it doesn't matter kung sinunod ng PNP or not kasi hindi naman din sinunod ng Duterte administration yung due process para naman dun sa mga extrajudicial killings na allegedly na ginawa niya. So, parang kumbaga, execution of karma, which is quite surprising coming from a secretary of an agency of our national government. Pwede pala yun? Parang, hindi naman niya rin kasi sinunod yung due process para dun sa mga allegedly extrajudicial killing eh. Bakit siya maghahanap ng due process? Lintik. Ganun yung argument niya. Tama ba yun? Kakatawa. Nakakainis din. Kasi, parang sinabi na rin niya na, for him, guilty na yung former president. And because guilty na yung former president, the former president is automatically deprived of due process. Yun po yung implication ng sagot niya. Kasi nga, the president didn't have the same luxury in terms of sa binigay niya sa mga victims of the EJK. So, dahil doon, for him, justifiable yung ginawa ng PNP, which is under his department. Kasi DILG secretary siya eh. Nakakabaliw yung mga ganyang klaseng sagot coming from someone who is supposedly in the higher office of our agency. Tapos ito pa. Gusto ko to i-discuss. Tagal na eh. Ngayon lang ako nabigyan ng pagkakataon eh.
Ipinagtanggol ng Philippine National Police si PNP Chief Police General Romel Francisco Marbil kaugnay sa sinabi nito sa isang interview na hindi maituturing na adik ang ilang gumagamit ng ipinagbabawal na gamot. Ayon kay PNP Public Information Office Chief Police Brigadier General Jean Fajardo, hindi dinidepensahan ng pamunuan ng Philippine National Police ang mga gumagamit ng ilegal na droga. Sa halip, sinabi ni Chief PNP na dapat na ituring ang mga itong biktima at hindi sospek.
Okay. Itong normalization of victims when someone is a drug user has been circulating kasi nga, according to research, a number of research studies kasi have been conducted in terms of drug addiction and kung tawag nito, how it is being viewed in the medical sense or within the medical lens. Yes, it is true that numerous studies have been found to support the claim that addiction is a disease and addicts are considered as victims. So, normalizing victimization for drug users in one way or another reduces stigma and it improves access to treatment. So, if one is viewed as a patient, kung ikaw, addict ka, considered ka na may sakit, kaya ka addict kasi may sakit ka nga eh. So, kailangan natin gamutin yung sakit mo, yung disease mo. If it is viewed within that specific lens, yung addict will believe na, may sakit ako kaya ako ganito. So, mas magkakaroon siya ng motivation na magpagamot. And of course, this perspective has been supported talaga by numerous studies showing that framing addiction as a medical condition rather than a moral failing can lead to a more compassionate and also effective interventions. So, for example, the addict as a victim narrative can help in obtaining compensation for victims of crime who are also drug users. Of course, this approach acknowledges that addiction may be a result of a trauma or abuse, which can be sympathetic rendering of addiction. Yun yung stand na binibigay nung Police General na napanood natin o narinig natin ngayon. Yun yung stand niya. So, the societal perception noong ganung klaseng claim na when we normalize victimization, it can lead to policy changes that could focus more on rehabilitation rather than punishment. Yun. Well, this shift can result to more resources being allocated to treatment programs and, of course, social support services. However, the perspective also raises concerns about the potential for increased complacency. Yung magiging kumpiyansa na yung mga addict. If individuals believe that their addiction absolves them of the responsibility for their actions, it could also lead to a lack of accountability and potential increase in criminal behavior. Kaya mas dumadami yung krimen sa isang lugar na maraming drug addict simply because sometimes, nagiging kumpiyansa na yung mga addict na, ay, biktima kami. You cannot castigate us. How can you punish us when we are the victims? So it now negates the moral aspect of punishing someone for their unruly and unlawful behavior. How can someone punish a victim? 'Di ba? Yun yung tinatayuan ng general na yun. Kasi nga mayroong studies na nagba-back up sa kanyang claim. Okay, maganda nga yun. However, dito natin sila titirahin. However, according to the United Nations let me search that. United Nations Drug Control Program, UNDCP. Yan. Remember? Puti yan, hindi ko na tinype. According to the United Nations Drug Control Program, which was published in 1995, research also indicates that a strong correlation between drug use and criminal behavior occur, which means many drug addicts engage in property crimes and illegal activities to support their addiction. Yun yung opposite side of the coin. Kapag sinasabi mong biktima na lang parati yung drug addict, kapag sinasabi natin, pag tinitingnan natin na biktima na lang parati yung mga nalululun sa droga, yung mga nalululun naman sa droga dahil nauubusan na sila ng pera, pangtustos sa kanilang addiction, most often than not, it is not according to me. According to the UNDCP, nagre-resort pa rin sila sa criminal behavior. And hindi na natin puntahan yung ibang bansa. Dito na lang sa Pilipinas. Ilan na ang pinatay ng mga naging addict sa droga kasi wala na silang pantustos, nagnakaw. Pinatay ang kapamilya, yung nanay, yung tatay, pinatay dahil hindi binibigyan ng pantustos. O dahil sa kalulo nila sa droga, wala na sa tamang pag-iisip. Ni-rape yung nanay, ni-rape yung kapatid, ni-rape yung anak, yung 8-month-old na anak. Ang tanong ngayon, sino ang biktima? Are both of them victims? The one who got killed? The one who got raped? Victim pa rin ba siya? And how about the one the drug addict who did the act? victim pa rin siya. So, sino may kasalanan? Who should we punish? So, if we say that there is an economic effect, economic factor that contributes to drug addiction, kasi nga, gusto ng pulis magpapaka-overtime siya, magising siya sa gabi, kaya hit-hit ng droga, ganun, nagising na si Chip. Ang tanong, is there any study that could support na mas nagiging effective ang pulis kapag nakahit-hit siya? Na mas marami siyang nahuhuling kriminal dahil nakahit-hit siya? Mas marami ba ang napipigilang krimen during the evenings dahil yung pulis na naghahabol sa kriminal nakahit-hit? Does the PNP have a data to show that it is an effective deterrent na pwede nating sabihin efficient din pala? Na humit-hit na lang tayo para magising tayo kasi mas marami tayong mahuhuling kriminal. Ang tanong ngayon, kung yung hinuli rin ng pulis drug addict din, may nahuli yung pulis na naghihit-hit, sabihin na natin sa isang food store. Sabihin na natin 7-Eleven. Sorry, 7-Eleven. Just an example. No, I'm not hitting on you. Just an example. 7-Eleven na cashier. Nahuli ng pulis na humit-hit ng droga. Ang sabi ng cashier, Sir, alam mo naman, parang kayo lang din. Gusto ko rin magising buong magdamag kasi kung makakatulog ako, baka nakawan naman yung tindahan. Ang tanong ngayon, huhulihin ba yun ng pulis o hindi? Kung huhulihin yun ng pulis, ipokrito ang pulis. Then the PNP is an agency of hypocrisy. Kung hindi niya yun huhulihin, then we must now amend our norms here in the country. Gawin na nating legal ang illegal na droga. Normalizing victimization claims can complicate law enforcement efforts. If addicts are seen primarily as victims, it may become more challenging to hold them accountable for their actions and potentially leading to increased crime rates. Ang hirap nun. Kung yung mismong humuhuli sa dapat hulihin, pareho sila ng ginagawa. All the more, doctors should be the first ones who should use drugs. One, they have access to it. Second, mas critical yung ginagawa nila. They're treating patients. But even doctors, nasa batas ng ating bansa and even internationally that doctors who are using are not allowed to operate. Then why are we allowing normalization for the PNP? Na okay lang kasi kailangan sa trabaho. Ang gulo ng ehensya ng DILG at ng PNP. Honestly speaking, this is shocking. I don't know how we evolved into a country who are proud to say in a nationwide forum sa news channel or sa news agencies, nasasabihin nating okay lang kasi naiintindihan natin yung mga pulis na kailangan talaga nila kasi sa trabaho nila. Again, kung pwede sa pulis, dapat pwede na rin sa iba. Kasi kung yung humuhuli, gumagamit, wala rin dapat siyang huhulihing gumagamit. Now, the question here is, did the war on drugs succeed or failed? Well, the former president's war on drugs obviously failed. How? Because look at us now. Isang pulis pala. Dapat sila yung unang tinumba. Well, I'm not saying they should be killed. But, Islamically speaking, in my end, kasi Muslim ako eh. Islamically speaking, depende sa magnitude ng drug addiction, sa ruling namin sa Islam, it could be kulong, flagellation, yung papaluin sa likod, or it could be death. Malaking bagay po sa religion ng Islam ang drug addiction. Huwag niyo po sabihin na, nasasabi mo lang yan kasi you are not the victim. I have relatives and I know people who have been captured, arrested because of drug addiction. So no, you cannot say na hindi ako nakaka-relate. Nakaka-relate ako. Kasi I know, you know someone who could be addicted to drugs and may have done something because of his or her addiction. Pero sa Islam kasi, sa amin kasi, meron yung levels na kailangan namin tingnan. If ikukulong ba siya? Papaluin ba siya? Or both? Papaluin at ikukulong? Or sadyang death penalty? And yes, I can openly say na I am pro death penalty. So more or less, I think you have an idea and you have an opinion kung ano sa tingin nyo. Did the war on drugs succeed? Or did it fail? Or was it just a temporary success? But in the long run, it didn't. Well, of course, 6 years lang naman kasi yung term ng Pangulo eh. Siguro kung naging dictator talaga siya na parang Vladimir Putin o sino ba mga dictator ngayon na long term talaga, baka mas nakita pa siguro natin yung effect. And maaari talagang mas dumami pa yung namatay. Kung nanlaban ba naman? Sa Islam din kasi kapag yung police officer, yung hinuhuli niya manlalaban sa kanya, siyempre, meron ding stages dyan. Pwede mong i-disable siya, meaning find a way na ma-stop yung threat niya sa'yo. Kung hindi talaga siya mapigilan, you fight back. Kung if matatalo ka, then you can actually kill. If that threat is also against your life. So, I still believe that there is a presumption of regularity sa ating law enforcement. So, kaya kung sino man yung mga napatay during the war on drugs na sinasabi nila na nanlaban, presumption of regularity, I will give them the benefit of the doubt na maaaring nanlaban nga. Para naman dun sa mga hindi nanlaban, na katulad nung kay Kian, nakulong naman din yung mga pulis eh. Yung mga suspects. Nakulong naman din sila. They were tried, they were judged, and they were sentenced. Still, I believe that there was an execution of our judiciary. that it is still, it did exist, it functioned, and it functioned well. So, it's just sad na nandito na nga tayo ngayon sa ganitong sitwasyon. I hope that sooner or later, makikita natin ulit yung pagbabago, yung totoong pagbabago, na matapos na tong ganitong klaseng mga problems kasi it affects our livelihood, it affects our day-to-day life in our community. At mahirap po yung uuwi ka sa gabi na parating may pangamba na baka you're not safe going home, you're not safe going to work, and even in the comfort of your own homes, hindi ka safe kasi maaaring pasukin ka ng mga addict na wala ng perang pambili ng kanilang pantustos sa kanilang luho para lang nakawan ka. So, I hope you can actually think about this, and I will not take much of your time for tonight. And I really just wanted to comment on the things that were mentioned in the internet right now. Kasi this is a national issue, and I want to voice out my concerns. Kasi I know there are still a few people who also watch my channel and who follow me here on Meta and on my YouTube channel na gusto ko rin i-share sa kanila yung perspective ko, and I hope they can also relate or agree and disagree with my positions, and maybe in the end we can find a common ground wherein all of us can live in a harmonious life. Kasi we can only stay in this world for 60-70 years. After that, tapos na, mga anak na naman natin. Iwanan natin yung mga anak natin ng magandang kumumuhay, magandang komunidad, magandang bansa na kanilang matitirahan. Yan lang po, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa panonood. Si Sir Weds po ng ISF Media. Paalam.